Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Real 1% podcast. I'm your host, Michael Daly, and today we got another special veteran guest with us. Jim has over 20 years of Air Force experience. He just graduated retired 2023. So congratulations on that milestone. He has spent over 8 years at Osan Air Base, and that's in Korea, as an intelligence collection officer. And he's currently building a entrepreneurial venture right now in Maryland. He's working with headshots. So everyone that's in the business realm, or you guys are trying to update your LinkedIn or your social profile for a job hunt, he's going to be your guy on that. So I'm interested to hear about his side on that. When I asked him about transitioning out the military, or actually I didn't even ask him, he just told me in the notes. He said that it's not like flipping on a switch. You still have to deal with like the reality of life, the fellowship, camaraderie, making money, healthcare. You got all these things that are sort of covered under an umbrella when you're in the military. But, when you actually think about it for a second and look into it, you might have to worry about those things if you don't have your ducks in a row when getting out the military. So, I'm curious to hear in your story, and I just want to say thank you for coming out here this morning. But how's your day going, Jim? And, what made you join the military?
Good. Day's going great. Like we said earlier, I'm just getting ready to go down and visit my best friend from basic training. We've been friends for 20 something years at this point, and have some Thanksgiving dinner and mess his kitchen up super bad.
Yeah, always.
But yeah, I did junior ROTC in high school, and it was just one of those things. My dad was in the Air National Guard. My grandfather was Army Air Forces back in World War II, and it's just kind of something that's always been in the forefront of my mind. The common theme with men in my family is that we serve, and it was, high school was ending, and I didn't have great grades. Turns out I have ADHD. Learned that towards the end of my career, and struggled in school. And I was like, school just isn't it for me. I want to go and do something and just get out there and get started. And so I joined the Air Force in 2003. Got to basic training, and then they said, you're going to be a Korean linguist. And so I spent
Whoa.
I spent the next 2 years in school
Damn,
learning Korean. Yeah.
How'd you end up even getting that? Was it off your scores, or was it just like?
Yeah, like the ASVAB, I scored high enough. I scored pretty high on the ASVAB, and then my recruiter asked me to take this test, and I took the what is it? The Defense Language Aptitude Battery, the D-Lab.
The D-Lab test,
And I
yeah.
scored high on that, and kind of went in. I was like, sure, let's do it. They were like, hey, there's this thing called linguist. It's kind of like being a spy. And I had no idea what I was doing. And I come in and I'm like, oh, yeah, I'll put like Spanish or Chinese and Arabic and all of these. Korean wasn't even on my list. I mean, when I was an 18-year-old kid, I don't think I could have even shown you where Korea was on the map.
Damn.
But yeah, basic training hit. And then they said, hey, you're going to be a Korean linguist. And then I did get to spend 2 years in Monterey, so that didn't suck.
That's not bad.
Yeah, doing your homework, climbing climbing a cliffside on the beach, and
Doing homework, not bad. I mean, that's not bad, dude.
yeah.
2 years though is a long time, man. Did it go by fast for you? Was it pretty aggressively paced, or was it kind of more laid back and just learn it? How was it?
So I went from not knowing a thing about Korean to pretty fluent in 15 months. It was an extremely aggressive course. We were making leaps and bounds in ability like every week. And
what was the hardest part of it for you when you look back on it now, or even when you're going through it? What was the hardest part?
Honestly, the hardest part of it was kind of balancing the military, because I was still, I was a young airman. I was E3 at the time. Balancing that military responsibility of having a clean room and uniform inspections and PT and this, but also going to school for 6 hours to learn a language, and then having anywhere between 90 minutes to 3 hours of homework at night.
A lot of work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was, and I spent 15 months doing that, and then I went to Goodfellow to do the secret stuff that we can't talk about, the training for that, and then popped over to Osan for the first time in 2005.
So you were already in the Army the Air Force a couple years already at that point. What did you think
Yep.
about when you got to Korea? You thought about staying in, or are you ready to re-enlist, or like
I
what'd you feel?
I got to Korea, and that first month or two. I mean, I turned 21 about a month after I got there too, so that probably helped a little bit.
Yeah, I never went to
Um,
Korea, man. I always heard it's like a crazy they got crazy
it's
nightlife out there though.
it's amazing. I mean, my first tour is a blur. My first tour was very much a blur, and uh, but it was we spent a lot of time like downtown, hanging out, having fun. But I went camping. We went down. There's a national park, Gyeongsan is called. It's gorgeous. We were there in the summer when all the or in the spring when all the cherry blossoms were blooming. So
That's nice.
Korea is an absolutely gorgeous country.
Oh yeah, looks like it.
And knowing the language, being able to just kind of leave and get away from the base and be able to survive and move around and not really have to worry about finding your way because you can just ask, is it was so great. It was so nice to be out and away.
Yeah, and be able to just embrace the fully and don't have to act like say a couple words and not even know you knew it all. So that's pretty good.
Yeah.
What so you did like 8 years. Did you do 8 years straight, or did you leave and come back?
No, so I actually ended up that first tour was 2 years. And then got stationed at Fort Meade for 2.5, '07 to 10. Then I was back in Monterey for more training in 10 to 11. Then I went back to Korea, 11, 12. And then it was just Fort Meade, Korea, Fort Meade, Korea, Fort Meade, Korea, or
Oh damn.
four total times in
Damn.
Korea. Yeah, the last tour was 2.5-ish years.
Okay. What about the other ones, like 1 year tour and then like leave?
The first time
Almost.
I did, yeah, first time I did 2 years. Second time I did 1 year. Third time was 2 years because I brought my family with, and then this last time was almost 3.
Okay. Dang, you spent a lot
So
of time over there, man.
I said 8, but it's 8, quote
Right.
unquote, like
When did
almost 8.
when did you know that you're gonna just stay in and do your to retirement? Did you ever have that point come up, or you just kept doing it?
Like the first time I re-enlisted, I was ready to go, and it was like, yep, this is what I'm doing with my life. When I came up on 10 years, it was kind of, I was like, is this, do I really want to do this? But at the time, she would have been about a year old. My oldest, my daughter, you can see her room back there in the background. Um, she was about a year old, and it was just healthcare and stability. And it was kind of not long after everything blew up with like 2008, 2009, like this, the market
Yeah.
crash, the housing market crash, the the collapse of oil prices and all that. And it was like, it still wasn't a great time. So I was like, you know what? We're just going to go. Re-enlisted again, brought me to, what was it, 15 years? And that 15-year mark there was a lot of like, all right, I should just push and finish out, but there were voices in the head saying like, maybe this isn't for you. And
Yeah.
it was also around the time, that 15-year mark was also around the time that I started getting really big into photography. I was trying to work on like figuring out how to run a business and all of that stuff. And it was one of those, I kind of realized that I had options for myself. But ended up staying in because it was just kind of, you know present Jim then, and what that would have been 2017. Jim in 2017 was doing Jim in 2023 a favor by staying in and getting the extra
Oh
financial
yeah.
blanket
I
of
mean, 50.
retirement,
Yeah,
and then VA disability and all of that, all of the things that come with retirement. Like having TRICARE for life, that's amazing.
that's true. Yeah, it's
I
hell.
mean,
Yeah.
like I pay $75 a month for healthcare. And
Right.
it's not like I still pay copays and stuff like that, but it's a really, really good plan.
Oh yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
you got that by being retired, though, right?
Yep. Yep. That's
Yeah.
a retired thing.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. 15 years, man. Still 5 years is a long time, but still 15, you've gotten
Yeah.
over a lot of the humps. Even people ask you, or people at 10 years, why are you getting out? 10 years is still a long time, but even 15, you're a little bit closer. But
Yeah.
hey, you made it, man. Did it go
Yeah.
by? Did it go by fast? Looking back at it and stuff now.
It's, it's kind of something my mom brought up once. Something my mom said. It's like the days are slow and the years are fast. And it's, going through it, it was like, man, it seems like we're just trudging through this at a snail's pace. And a lot of it had to do with, especially in Korea, it was just kind of the same shit over. I don't know. Oh, I'm sorry. I don't know if I can,
No, you're
like,
good. You're good.
it's the same crap just day after day after day. It's repetitive. It's monotonous. It's just, we do the thing happens, we come home, we debrief the thing, we go home, we go to sleep, grab a beer, go to sleep, get up the next day, do it all, do the same thing over again. And it was just
That's true.
over and over and over. And so it felt really monotonous. And then all of a sudden, like, March 1st of this year hit, and I was, I had my DD 214 and everything. And I was like, huh, I don't feel like I've been in the Air Force for 20 years. I don't feel like I did 20 years in the Air Force. I still feel like young. I still feel like I don't know what I want to be when I grow up. It was just kind of
Hmm.
weird. And like I said, it's like there's not a switch. It was just kind of this realization like, wow, that was 20 years. Holy crap. And it's kind of still, like I said, I'm still transitioning, if you will. I'm still in that process of becoming a civilian. I was really fortunate to have my last job in the Air Force. I was working with my, like, for Army speak, my flight chief or platoon sergeant, my best friend.
Okay.
Like one of my best friends. Like we play D&D together. We go and have breakfast and stuff every once in a while because he's about to retire too. So he's burning through a bunch of leave, and it was just one of those. I was able to start disconnecting a little bit here and there. So when terminal leave and everything hit, I had this sense of completion almost. There was just this sense of like, okay, I feel like I'm a step ahead in coming back into civilian life, into life away from the military. And I was really fortunate to work with the people that I did when I finished, because all of my peers were all, we're, there's, to put it in perspective, in the Korean linguist career field for ground based, because we have an airborne side too that fly in planes, there's maybe 300 of us in the entire Air Force. And so, like, like E6s, my peers, E6s, there's 30 of us, 20, 30 of us. I know every single one of them by their first name. I've had a beer with pretty much every single E6 in my career field. So it's, just having that peer, like I was saying, that camaraderie, that fellowship, and where they're like, yeah, dude, you're retiring, like, get out of here, like, go,
Yeah.
like, go work on your resume, or go do this thing, or like go market your business. It's like, we can cover, like, they started, I was helping, and I was being like, no, like, I can still work. And they're like, dude, we've got to get used to you not being here, so just don't be here. It was
Yeah.
fun. It was nice.
What did your exit? So like how long ago did that start? Before you got out, what did your exit plan look like? What did you want to see doing? Were you just gonna chill and sit on the retirement and stuff like that, or like even the disability thing? Did you get like sort of coached and mentored through that enough to like get your stuff going? Because I feel like it's a lot different for people that are around their best friends or these good mentors or people that maybe have a good unit, at 20 years, but other people that aren't so fortunate, they might not have anyone in their corner, and it's like you really got to figure out how to do it yourself. If you don't have anyone that will help
Yeah.
you or look for help. So I'm curious to know what yours look like.
So I was really fortunate. I used the VFW to help me with the disability side of it, and the guy that I worked with was absolutely amazing. The process, God, oh my God, like, what a pain in the ass.
It can be, yeah, for sure.
Is Yeah, I don't know what it was with mine, but like my best friend and I, the guy that's down in Georgia, we retired on the same day. Like, we clicked the button last year at the exact same time. We like met up with each other in each other's spaces, and we're like, all right, 3, 2, 1, click, and requested retirement. Um, but it was just the VA side of it. I don't know what it was with my medical stuff, but he did all of his appointments. And then he did all of his appointments, and like the 2 weeks after it was final, he had his letter, and it was a done deal. Like, I didn't get my final decision until September 1st of this year.
Oh,
Yeah.
back pay. Did you get back pay though?
Oh yeah,
That's
that's
good, but still, but yeah, you're right. That's still a
it
long
was
time though.
it was a pain because it was, we were like, well, we can't live on $1,700 a month plus the salary that my wife makes.
Right.
And so I ended up getting a part-time job at Starbucks and slinging coffee drinks for entitled middle-aged people.
Yeah. And till everything caught up, but that's damn.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
like,
and
go ahead.
now that it's caught up, I mean, really, once the disability kicked in, I was like, I told the store manager, I was like, I'm done. Like,
Hell
I
yeah.
can't do this anymore. I liked it at first, but just with like the holiday season and everything, it brought out an entire different customer base, and they were just
Mm.
most of the people that were at the store that I worked at, I really enjoyed, and I really liked serving them. I really liked making, but as soon as like the pumpkin spice people came out of the woodwork, it was like, man, I'm telling you, it was like, and like that's the thing is, I got to try them and I got to experiment a little bit, and I learned how to make like a pumpkin spice latte to not taste just like sugar.
Yeah.
Um, it's not that bad. It's actually pretty good. But it was just the culture of the people that are around it was just but
Yeah.
I loved everyone I worked with at Starbucks. They were amazing. That group of people was the closest I've felt to having like a military type camaraderie,
That's
because it
good.
was the same thing. Like if they liked you, they made fun of you, and they gave you
Yeah.
crap. They gave you crap all the time.
Right.
And if it's the same thing in the military. Like you and your friends, you give your you're incessantly dogging on each other all the time
Oh yeah.
because you like it. It's like, I know that guy can take it. I'm gonna push him. I'm gonna make him better. But then it's like the people that are like, well, we don't really like that guy, and it's like, oh yes, sir. Oh hey, private so and so. Hey, airman so and so. Can I have you? Or it'd be like, yo, Chris, what the hell are you doing? Get that crap out of there. Get your ass over here. Sit down.
Yeah. No, you're right though,
Like,
man. That's hard to find out here on the other side, but I guess it is out there in some areas, so that's good. But
yeah.
what was the hardest thing looking back that you went through as a like as a transition, or was it that time period waiting on the disability, or was it something else?
No, so is I don't know. I've never had like a smooth anything in my entire career, but I reenlisted. I had to reenlist in 2019 because of a snafu in when I reenlisted in 27 20 oh, I don't even remember now. It would have had to have been like 2018. And they wouldn't let me. It was something weird in 2018 where they were like, hey, oh no, it was 21. It was like in 2018, they wouldn't let me reenlist for 5 years to make it to 20. They only let me reenlist for 4 years. So I had to reenlist again at 19. And it was that weird, the indefinite enlistment hadn't quite started yet. And so I had to reenlist for 4 years. And then when I reenlisted in 2021, something happened with the paperwork. And so I go through the retirement application process, and like a week and a half, 2 weeks later, my commander signs off on the paperwork, and about 6 days after that, I get a application for retirement rejected, and I'm like, what the
What?
hell? And I started looking into it. On paper, I had never actually correctly reenlisted, so there was this whole like hubbub of all this, like, and then the personnelists, they were like, oh, well, we need you to send us that paperwork. I'm like, cool, I'd love to, except it's on a shared drive that I don't have access to on Osan Air Base anymore because I reenlisted on Osan Air Base and I'm at Fort Meade now. So what am I
Dang.
supposed to do? And they wanted me, like, at one point, Air Force Personnel Command wanted me to retract my retirement so that they could fix something in there so that I could reapply. And I told them to go spit. I was like, nope, you guys have you have AFPC God powers. Fix it. There's something you can. I
Yeah, they're
know
trying to get you to get in for
for
another year.
you literally own the system that happens. You have all privileges to do whatever you want. Go in and change the code. Like,
Yeah,
here's the
full. They have
paperwork.
full authority, full
Yeah,
override. Go
like,
ahead.
you can just fix it. I'm not doing anything. Like, you've made me jump through hoops
Damn.
for 19 and a half years. You can do this yourself this time. And like, I was lucky that the personnelist in our unit was like the orderly room folks were 100% on my side. They were like, no, you shouldn't have to do this. This is stupid. Like, it's not, it's, I will say I did initially make the mistake, but there were at least 8 other people that QC'd that document before it got to Air Force Personnel Command. Not a single one of them went, oh, hey, we need you to remove your signature from this thing right here, or your initials from this right here. Not a single person.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
all push it
it's
through
like,
too.
that's, yeah, I may have made the initial mistake, but none of you catching the mistake all the way to Air Force Personnel Command, that's not my fault anymore. Especially, a year after it happened.
Yeah, no, I'm glad you got out of that thing. That was kind of that sounds pretty crazy though. Almost making you like hold you to the gauntlet. Here, you're gonna do another year because we don't have your stuff. It's like, I guess lesson. What do you? So like you didn't have like you don't have to show them like a physical reenlistment paperwork. Like when if you got it printed out like after like your new contract or something like that. That wouldn't
No,
suffice if you had that, or it was all digital.
everything's digital now in the Air Force.
Holy shit!
There's no wet signature of anything. And looking back, I probably should have saved all that stuff in like, because we had like OneDrive too, like Microsoft OneDrive.
Yeah,
Everybody
yeah.
or everybody that has an Air Force email account has a OneDrive, and I should have stored that stuff in there, but
I
I made
guess
it.
Yeah, I guess if you don't want to do that, maybe one day store your stuff. But no,
Yeah.
that's so. What made you want to do the headshot business? Like, what got you into doing that? I know you said you were doing kind of while you were still in, but what led you to do that venture?
So I've been playing around with photography since I was like 10. I have actually, do I have it? No, it's upstairs. I was gonna say I have my dad's Minolta Maxim 7000 that I learned how to shoot on upstairs. Like I shoot in my house. My studio's pretty much right above us, right back there. And so I've been shooting. I shot a lot of air shows. I did a lot of nature stuff. I started with landscape. When I joined the military, I kind of got into street photography a little bit, and this was still in the days of film. So it was like, I was walking around with like Ilford 400 black and white, Kodak, all these films, and I was just trying different things and shooting different ways. And I was that weird kid with a camera. Every time I showed up to like a party, I was taking pictures, or if I was walking around on the beach, I was taking pictures. Then I got to Korea, and I felt like randomly had my camera with me, and where the barracks that I lived in the first time I was in Korea was right across the street from the base hotel. And so when there's overflow at the base hotel, they send them out into hotels in the Ville. And all of like the hotel managers and drivers would smoke cigarettes in the smoke pit in our barrack, like outside of our barracks. And I still smoked at the time. So I went out there one time and I had my camera and I was like, puffing on a couple of death sticks. And one of the guys he's like, oh, you camera, like you like to shoot? I'm like, oh yeah, I love it. He's like, oh, I have like 3 or 4 friends that all like to shoot, come with us this weekend. And I started hanging out with Korean guys and learning. That was one of the ways that I got really good at Korean really fast was, you have an interest, and then like you learn to communicate through that interest, and then it starts to bleed over into everything else. And it was great. And I just kept shooting and shooting. I started working with people around, it was about 2018. I got invited to a couple of like photographer model meet and greets and this, and I started working with people and started really shooting with studio light. And I absolutely loved it. I loved everything about shooting studio light. It was just how like you can control everything and you can make it look exactly the way you want it. And it spoke to me, and I just really enjoyed it. And then on top of that, I started realizing that the better that I got, the more I could help people that were struggling. And initially I was like, oh, I want to do like fashion photography and like all of that. And it's like, I don't like fashion. I would say I have a pretty like casual style in general. Like I dress well, but it's not, I'm not flashy. I'm not dressy. I just like to be comfortable, clean, and presentable. But I learned about headshots and I was like, oh, like I can just take pictures of normal people. And then what really hooked me was I can help them with their career, their business. And it's kind of always, it's all, that's what it's, the whole business for me is based on helping people get better at what they do, like helping people get better, like get more clients, make more money. I live my life by the saying that a rising tide lifts all ships. And it's
Yeah.
like
Oh,
it's as much as I'm trying to make a business to make money for myself, what I really want to do is build a community of like-minded business people that are all about just helping, finding ways that we can work together, because the more we work together, the more business there is.
absolutely. That's absolutely true, dude.
So
No, you're right. You're right about that. Like I always been saying that you get some people that you can grow something with and create a team, and you know that's how you really make something happen. So, no, good for you. Where did you see your biggest struggle when you were starting the business, or was it kind of smooth sailing? You know, because
I,
you're just trying to always help people, so you didn't really look at it as as a objective to get across.
no, so I would say I'm still growing my business. I'm still pushing it to be like a full-time active business. And the hardest part is right now for me is finding like my target market.
Okay.
Excuse me. Um, it's really I don't I try not to talk about other people's work, but at the end of the day, like I'm not a rank and file headshot photographer. I'm not the guy that that sets up and can shoot 50 to 100 people in a single day. I really focus on your expression, the light, making sure the lighting is perfect, that your expression is oh, excuse me,
Yeah.
got really dry down here all of a sudden. But the expression is like spot on, that it's warm, that it conveys warmth, confidence, all those things that are going to draw people to you. Like I want my clients to look interesting. I want people to be interested in my clients, and I want to have a scroll stopping headshot where you're flipping through IG or you're going through and you go, holy crap, that's a good photo, like that's a great headshot. It's like, who is that? You're like, oh, that's my boy, like John, or John or James or Jim, or
Yeah.
like,
I mean,
holy crap.
dude, is it hard to work with people that some people that might not be so photogenic? I mean, I might not be the best person to take pictures. I want to be, but like what's the hardest thing with working with people like that? What's your
So it depends, but the thing that I found the hardest is building that trust. It can really be because you really want people to be vulnerable in front of the camera. You want them to be themselves, but everybody's so worried all the time about, or many people are so worried about what other people think of them. And
it's true.
us, like regular people, not basically, I want to say not models, not actors.
Yeah.
And I want like regular people, regular working people, non-talent people. They don't always have a great self-image. They don't always have a great view of themselves. They're very aware of their flaws. They're very aware of their insecurities, and it's tough when you want people to relax. And I try to tell them all the time, like, the more relaxed you look on camera, the better it's going to be. You may end up like sitting in a little bit of a weird position, but if you can stay like relaxed. But there's been a few times where I try to like get them to smile in a particular way, and no matter what I do, they're just kind of they do, uh. So like, okay, the cheese smile, like everybody say cheese. Like, oh my god, can this please be over now?
Got to go with an open mind, I guess. Just try to
Yeah, and
make the
it's
best out of it.
and it's that thing too, where I always like I try to tell people, like, we are creating this image together. I'm not taking an image of you because it's not going to be as good. I mean, I can click the shutter and I can light everything and I can just I can take a picture of you, but it takes both of us to make a high quality headshot that shows who you really are.
No, absolutely, yeah, absolutely. I have to come up and see you one day. Get
Yeah,
on that. What's your like? What do you do to market yourself and try to, what kind of clients are you looking to take more clients on right now, or what's your deal?
I am 100% always looking for more clients. Period. Dot. Full stop. But as far as marketing goes, I'm looking. I do a lot of like networking stuff. I'm looking at getting involved with like various chambers of commerce in the area. I just started partnering with Anne Arundel Workforce Development Corporation. They're like a business employment nonprofit that helps to like uplift both people that are working and then also support local business as well. So they're fantastic. I've talked to a couple of people from there, and I've nothing but amazing things to say about them. I'm a member of the Pasadena Business Association, just like a business networking group, kind of like not really a chamber of commerce, but they do a lot of the same stuff: monthly meetings, networking events. They're doing courses on. Some of them are doing like sometimes they're doing courses on AI. They do courses on taxes. So they're really like trying to network and bring a group of business people together and you know help everybody grow. It's been a like I've been to a few events and there are a lot of fun people there.
You ever heard of like the ones they have for the military? Like EBV, like Entrepreneurship Boot Camp for Veterans, like through the IVMF at Syracuse. You ever heard of that?
I did boots to business. I did the boots to
Okay.
business class. I It was good, but it wasn't great for me because a lot of it was like the course was, I think it was 2 days, and it was a day and a half of helping people kind of formulate their ideas, or like, hey, when you have like when if you think you have an idea for a business, this is how to get started. But for me, it's like I already had, I had a lean startup business plan, and I was like, I need like insight here. I need to know like where I need to go. I need to like, and then I found out later is like I should have been doing more like marketing classes. Like should have been like working to identify my target market.
Yeah.
Where are and then where are they on social media? Where do they spend their online time? Where do they spend their offline time? And just trying to get myself in front of them as much as possible. I think I would be a lot further along than I am right now. But
Did you
it
already do
is,
it? Did you already work through all that stuff that you just said? Because that's pretty much what
yeah,
EBV is. So that they do the lean business model, and then you get around the network of people, and like you said, yeah, it's about the net. They really tie you in, though. It's much more than a course, I would say, because like we got like alumni status at the schools we went to, and then you just get plugged into the network and the veteran network. And if you have like a real serious plan, like they were giving out grant money. They do it every time. They do it all the time, honestly,
yeah,
every year. But yeah, that's so no, that's good though, man. But business is, would you say business has been a whole new stomping ground, right? I mean, you sort of
yeah,
touched it in the military, but when you get out and you got to make it shake, then it's kind of like it's not a bad thing though, because you worked so hard for the military. Why not do it for yourself?
yeah. So, it's like I said earlier, I do have ADHD and everything, and I try to make goals for myself and like set tasks for myself, and you know, past Jim is trying to tell future Jim to do something, and then future Jim is like, I know the boss, and he's an idiot. He won't care, kind of
Yeah,
thing. And so it's actually, again, like the friend we're going to see tomorrow, like heading down to Georgia to see, he's become kind of an accountability partner for me.
that's good.
We try to get together. We were getting together once or twice a week. Now it's been every other week or so. Now that we've both got some momentum, and we just talk about goals that we're trying to set for ourselves. We do the whole SMART goal thing, and we've got a whole chart on Miro of got like a whole like whiteboard thing that we've got sticky notes all over, and digital sticky notes. When we're gonna, what we want to do, how we're gonna do it, how it's relevant, and then when we're gonna try to finish it. and it's helped. It has helped me. Sometimes it feels like I'm moving the ball a couple of inches, and then when I look back, I'm like, oh hey,
Bless you.
yeah, it is really dry down here today.
That's how I felt in Vegas, man. It was rough out there.
I think it's just the weather is because the weather's going to change here tomorrow. I think it's just really dry today, and it's going to be raining all day tomorrow.
Yeah, just in time to get out of there.
Yeah, well, we're driving through it all day tomorrow. It's going
Oh
to suck.
damn.
Yeah, it's all
Oh,
good. We've driven through worse. We drove through a blizzard in Chicago last Christmas. So
there you go.
yeah, it's
You about due for something, right?
yeah,
Once a year.
yeah.
Now,
I grew up in North Dakota, so driving in the snow
oh,
is nothing.
you good then, man?
Yeah,
You just yeah. Now Florida, man, they shut the whole state down if they get anything, but nothing ever happens down here. So
yeah,
roads are always open. Hurricanes kind of crazy, but that's a whole other story.
yeah.
Um, so now that what made you guys implement the like the accountability partner? Was it just something that you guys both agreed upon, or how'd that come into effect?
So my best friend, he is extremely business minded, organizational minded. He's a program manager for a financial services company down there in Georgia, and he's very good at helping me translate my long term goals into first into medium term goals, then into short term goals, and then into tasks to achieve those short term goals. His mind just works like that. And my mind is the creative side and the we always I always joke with him. I was like, dude, the two of us together, if we built a business together, we would be unstoppable. Because I'm the face, I am the face. I can literally talk to anybody.
So
Um,
what y'all waiting on?
Well, he really enjoys the job that he's doing right now. And he's kind of just he's a side partner. Like he's doing this because we're best friends and not taking any pay, although eventually he may get a little kickback here and there, like maybe fly him up from Georgia and buy him dinner or something every once in a while.
There you go. Get that residual, get that kickback for him.
Yeah.
No, that's
Yeah,
good
but
though, man. That's
it
good.
was just I kind of realized one day I was like I am not anywhere near where I want to be. And I sat down and kind of really did some introspection on it and realized I wasn't I wasn't holding myself accountable, because it's hard to hold yourself accountable because like I said, like you're your own boss and you're like, the boss is an idiot, he won't mind, like.
Yeah,
And so
but
I kind of did that and I told him about it. He was like, absolutely, let's do it, can you meet tonight?
yeah.
So
No, we all need that, man. I'm trying to do
yeah.
the same thing for myself. Put some people around you that can bring you up and not down. So that's good that
Yep.
you got into that. I look back on it and think about like, man, all these people we were in the military with. We could have done business. We should have been buying apartments while we were in the military. When you get back from the deployment or something, everyone got
Yeah.
20,000. Okay, we got 10 people. All right, we got 200,000 down. Let's put it down on something. Buy it. Oh, we got 10 units. All right, cool. Boom, boom. But no, that's good, man.
Yeah.
If you would look back on it, to talk to someone that's getting out of the military, what would you tell them, to make sure they had an order, regardless if they've been in for 20 years retiring or like 5 years, looking back at your own experience and your friends as well.
Truthfully, I think one of the biggest things that I recommend, because I did it, I started terminal leave, and on terminal leave, I didn't do a damn thing. Like I had a honey-do list, and I was doing stuff around the house, and I was playing video games, reading books, hanging out, cooking dinner every night for the family. I was just kind of My biggest advice to people is take some time for yourself. Just breathe.
Yeah,
Like that, the last year of your career, especially if you're retiring, it feels like a sprint. It feels like you're coming around. I like in the Air Force, we do our mile and a half PT test. It's a 2 mile in the Army, right? And it's, I don't know, the last lap for everybody, at least everybody that I know, is you always run as hard as you can on that last lap, and then you sprint that last 100 yards. And it really, the last year to 6 months feels like that 100-yard sprint right at the end of your PT test. And then terminal leave starts, and there's that moment of, oh my God, I'm done. I can walk again. And there's that initial she's on LinkedIn. She's a retired chief master sergeant, Mary Polenko. She said it perfectly. It's like you finish that after a run and you take that first deep breath, and there's that initial sense of relief. But then as you continue to walk and cool down, you start to notice like the aches and pains and the creaks, but it's all up here. It's all up in the head, where it's, you take that mental sigh of like, it's over. I don't have to put the uniform on anymore. But then there's those things where like you start to notice like, oh, but now I actually have to like go seek out companionship. I have to go seek out,
That's true.
a new tribe, and I'm not where, I have to like pick out my own clothes. That's
Damn,
it's
not PTs or uniform any day. So
it's
sadly, some people wear that stuff out, man. I don't know if they did in Korea. Then people be trying to wear their uniform like they have no other clothes in the military. Sometimes, like, damn.
in the Air Force. It was a lot of like they would wear like jeans and their PT shorts and their like green boots. I'm like, what are you doing, man? Like, get out of here. Like, come on. Like,
Dude,
I was like, I know, like, man, I know you live in the barracks, and I know you're not making a ton of money, but like, we're in Korea, especially back in '05. Like, no one had cell phones. Like, man, you don't got no bills. Like, go buy some clothes.
something. Well, there's
Go buy a pack of like white t-shirts even. Go buy some
some
shoes.
wearing their tan tees and their dog tags out with
Yeah.
jeans and their boots on. Oh
Oh
God,
man,
tell
yeah.
them people, please don't do
I
that.
think the Marines call those guys boots, right?
Something.
Yeah.
I mean, they on. I don't even.
Yeah. It's
That's life, though, man.
yeah.
Hey, man. I
Everybody,
mean,
hey, anybody can spend them. Like, they're adults. They can spend their money on whatever the hell they want to.
dude, I just saw a headline the other day. They're letting anybody in the military now. They're like lowering their standards. They can't meet quota, man.
Yeah, the Air Force
It's
just dropped.
crazy.
They just raised the age up to
Uh,
42, I
The
think.
age, yeah, that wasn't. I think the Army did too a while back. I wish I had the other thing that just happened the other day, but I don't think I took a picture of it. It was something though, man. I don't know, but glad we did our time. Did the military change for you from the time that you were in until what did that look like? Was it constant? 20 years. You're about the same age as me, a little bit older. I'm just curious to see your take.
It was. I told people, I could have stayed for a couple more years. I could have tried to make E7, and it was just one of those like, I joined when I joined at war. Like, we were
Right.
already at war in Afghanistan. I was at basic training when we went back into Iraq. Like, I was there at night. Our TI, our drill instructor came in and everything, and told us that we had gone in. We'd gone to war with Iraq, and like the first cruise missiles were dropping. Um, but it was just like the last 5 years or so. It felt like everything became super political. Everything became about everything but mission execution and mission accomplishment. And that was kind of like what I noticed too in the Air Force. And this is probably, I'll admit, some of it's a little bit of sour grapes, because I didn't promote. I finished out at E6, and that was it. Which is not as it's not as rare as it used to, like, it's more rare now than it was even when I came in, because it was when I came in, everybody made master. Everybody
Okay.
everybody made E7,
Okay.
and you just had to be in long enough, and you just had to test well. But they changed the system, and it was really, like I said, some of it is a little sour grapes, and I've always been the doer. I've always been the person to lead from the front,
Yeah.
and it's just the things that I did. The hardest struggle that I had was capturing how what I was doing was, worthy of promotion, and I just never could. I just, it's like, I show up, I make sure my dudes are good and that they're doing their job. I do my job really well, and that, like, isn't that good enough? Like, we have the high, I had the highest like report rate, had the highest morale, had the like fewest people getting in trouble for stuff, and I'm like, how is this not promotion worthy? Like my people are winning, my people are winning like quarterly awards. What the hell? Like, what's going on here? Like, is that not good enough? Like, I didn't do enough I wasn't in enough bake sales. I wasn't involved with like 5-6 or Air Force Sergeants Association. And that's, I think some of it was, is I wasn't involved with a lot of the professional organizations. And it's like, I'm sorry, that's a lobby group. I think lobbyism is
Yeah.
one of the things that destroyed the country. Was the lobby, all the lobbies. Lobbyists killed politics in America. I'm gonna
Yeah.
go to like
No.
there. I'm a little political about it, but that's the way I feel. And even Air Force Sergeants Association, I was like, nope, I won't be a part of that. They're a lobby group, and I
Right.
get that they're a lobby group that's trying to help me, but they're lobbying. I'm anti-lobby. Like, I will not join that group because it's a lobby group. Like,
Yeah, so like you didn't get into extra political activities, so that sort of like they probably held that against you, which is bullshit because you're in the military, you're not in these groups shouldn't hold you. None of those
yeah,
groups should hold you back from promotion. So from you going from E6 to E7, that's all like getting people looking at you then, like
yeah.
your superiors looking at you and then giving you the green light. That's how it goes in the Air Force, or
Yep. Yep, pretty much. And it was funny too, in spite of all of that, I would say up until the last couple of years I was in, if there were 4 slots to push for promotion, I was always, like if there were 4, I was number 5. If there were 6, I was number 7. I was
damn,
always just I was like
the hell?
right there, right there. And that was without doing all of the extra BS.
Right. That they're probably yeah, that's ridiculous then.
It is
So
it is what it
it
is. It's
is what it
over
is,
now.
I guess. But
Yeah.
yeah, you
It's
can't do
over
nothing.
now. Can't do anything about it now, so
Nah, but that's all good. What do you see? Hey, let me ask you this one. What was your what's one thing that you've gotten to use or found most available to you from the VA as like minus the healthcare and stuff like that, the TRICARE? What other benefit have you benefited from?
honestly, I can't even remember it, but they got me hooked up with Small Business Development
Okay.
Center in Maryland, and I've got a coach now, and he's walking me through, like, they're having me do a business plan, but he's having me do it a little differently. He's having me really focus on like marketing and then competition analysis, market analysis. He's really trying to get me to think about how I'm going to get this product out into the market. Excuse me for just a second.
Are you good?
My son is trying to knock the Christmas tree over.
Damn. That's always good, man.
Yeah, yeah.
How old are your kids now?
So my daughter is 12. She's in 6th grade, and my youngest he'll be 6 in January, and he's in kindergarten.
Okay. My son's 7, so he's gonna be 8 in February. But yeah, always fun, man.
Yeah,
But so like I guess back on the business thing, what have you come
yeah.
up with so far, like on the your competitive analysis? Like where do you see yourself using to get yourself out there with your research so far?
The thing that I think I need to focus on, I need to show people that I'm different, like that I'm not just gonna have you sit there, stand there, charge $200 for you to like go pop click. It's
Yeah,
I'm not like my prices aren't cheap. Obviously, I'm trying to make a living at doing this, but it's you're gonna walk away like I'm trying to tell people. I trust me. You are gonna walk away with the best photo of yourself that you've probably ever seen.
damn. That's a good thing to leave them with. I mean, yeah,
And it's some of it, from a technical standpoint, which the only people that care about that shit are photographers. But people are going to look at their photos and go, damn, I look good. Damn, I love that smile. I love my energy. And that's what a lot of people I've been working with have said. I get when I ask for like reviews, it's like, oh, my photos look great. I love how I look in them. That kind of that. And it's really, for as many people that say, oh, well, a headshot's a headshot's a headshot, you're selling the experience. I was like, well, but I'm also selling a high quality product, the
that's
high
true.
quality service.
No, you're right, man. So dude, man, the one thing that's still sticking with me is just that like fellowship thing, that you said
Yeah.
earlier. What have you done in your local area to find people to hang out with? You find other veterans, or you just kind of just doing your own thing?
I'm really just bumping into people, and if we're out, I'll talk to people, and if we we kind of like our vibe matches, our personalities match. Like I see him, I'd be like, hey man, like, let me get, like we should hang out. If we're at a bar, we're like, hey, I'll see you next time. Like, let me get let me like get your number. Like, I'll message you the next time I'm coming out. And you just see people around. You start to kind of build a little network. It's still like I'm still in the process of trying to figure out how to do it. I still have tons of friends that are in the military down the street here, down the street at Fort Meade. So it is kind of nice to just be able to call a buddy up and be like, hey, do you want to grab a beer? And they're always like, oh yeah, man, let's do it. And then I do have right now, I've got 3 or 4 friends that are about to retire over the next year and a half. And so they're like, dude, help me, walk me
Uh,
through this process, man.
yeah.
Like, tell me what I got to do. Like, tell me what I got to expect. And so I'm like, yeah,
Uh,
let's go. Let's have coffee. Let's have let's like sit down, eat breakfast. You just pick my brain. Like,
Damn, it's crazy that they say that though, because that's all people wait till the last year sometimes because they're if they're hitting you up saying that and they need help, it's like, damn, man. I don't know. It's just well, I
yeah,
guess the time goes by so fast, and then people aren't really thinking about that because they're when you left the Air Force, everyone else is still working. All your friends that are getting out now,
yep,
they worried about going to work the next day, or didn't worry. They just woke up and fell into routine. So, nah, man. I mean,
yeah,
I'm glad they're hitting you up though too to actually be kind of somewhat proactive. They still got a year, but like you
yeah.
said, it's going to go by fast.
Yeah, and it's one of those I kind of told people like getting out of the military is really hard because everything else we do, we've got a mentor for, like you've got a
That's
mentor
true.
for how to do your job, you've got a mentor for how to be a better leader. You've got you have people that can help you PCS, all this stuff. It's like but
Mhm.
everybody that's gone through the separation process, they're gone.
That's
Like
true. That's true.
no one's there to mentor you. They're not there anymore.
Damn, you might get like a veteran to come in the TAPS class or one of the things and kind of give you a little brief. But like, yeah, you're right though, man. I guess that's why got to try to get the word out and get proactive and like document everything, have all your paperwork, even for medical, man. Sometimes people say they lost their medical records or they don't have that could I don't know, man. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy, but yeah, you're right though. People got it, so I'm sure they're gonna be happy with you there, helping them through.
Yep.
And I just want to say thank you for coming on here today and opening up, being vulnerable, and sharing your story. Seems like you have fun along the way. You had a job that you enjoyed, and
Yeah.
it did good for you. I mean, plus if you really want to get a job like contracting, like you'd probably be fine, right? Like you get probably
Yeah.
high clearance, boom, you're right there at Fort Meade anyway. So I mean, a lot of people could probably go. Did you ever want to go that route or not really?
I I actually posted just a couple days ago on LinkedIn that I almost did
Oh, you,
up until about 6 months before I started terminal leave. I was grinding away at my resume, building everything, making connections over there in the building and all of that. And it was just kind of one day I was just kind of like, yeah, but do I really want to do this? Do I really want to keep doing the same crap I've been doing for 20
that's
years? I
that's
was like,
true.
no, I need to prove it to I was like, I kind of came to the decision. I need to see if I can do this. I need to see if I can run my own business because
Right.
if I can shoot photography, you know, then everything else is good. Like if I can pay bills with shooting photography, then life's pretty good, man.
There you go. Yeah, you doing something you enjoy. Yeah, that.
Yeah.
Hey, man, I'm with you. I went the contracting around for a couple years, man, because like, damn, it's hard to you can't live off 12, 13, $14 an hour, man, in a
Yeah.
restaurant. So I was like, I had to. It's kind of like a damn loss of identity at a point. You're like, damn, I can only get paid $12 or $13 here, or you go be the same thing you did in the military, but sign up for civilian deployment and make 6 figures.
Yep.
So it's like, nah, good for you. I'm doing clothes, man. I'm selling clothes. So if I could sell clothes on eBay and I could pay bills and make life happen and make investments, life's good, man. You try to
Yeah.
do podcasts and hang out with our families because when you're in the military, you didn't have the same time you do as with your family now. You don't have that
Uh,
time control, not even anywhere close, dude.
I'm
You
still
know,
working. I still work from home, so I get to pick my son up from the bus every day after school now. It's
there you
great.
go.
Yep.
Can't
It's
go
awesome.
wrong. You still be coming back from lunch break in the Air Force.
Yeah. Yeah.
You'd be coming back from lunch. You still have 4 or 5 more hours, but nah, man. If I want to just say thanks again, and open it up to you if you had anything else that we maybe missed or that you want to touch on before we close it out for the session.
No, I think just one thing I want to tell people too is reach out. Like, trust me, like the people that you served with, even way back, they probably still remember you. Like, it
Oh
doesn't
yeah,
hurt to even just shoot a message on either Facebook, or if you've got their phone number, just reach out, say hi, say what's up. You'd be surprised at how many people are interested in what's going on in your life.
yeah. Just check in, see what they're up to
Yep.
too. Like you're all right though. That bond is always forever, man. So, no, I appreciate you coming on, and thanks for sharing your story, Jim. And if you guys made it this far, we appreciate y'all listening in. If you're a veteran, you want to share your story, or you're in the military community trying to help the military out in a positive way, feel free to reach out, and we'll get you on the show. So, thank you all for listening, and I hope you guys have a blessed rest of your day. Take care. Appreciate you, Jim.
Thanks, Mike.